So what is it like working with Keanu, the great Keanu Reeves?
He certainly is the great Keanu Reeves, isn't he?
The amount of celebrities who have attained cult-like status in Hollywood is a pretty exclusive club. Oprah, Betty White, Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, but none have come close to capturing the attention of everyone online quite like Keanu Reeves.
We're dubbing you America's sweetheart. Everyone thinks you're the coolest, nicest.
He's in memes, on t-shirts, on murals, even tattoos. It seems like every few months or so, a new fact or off-guard picture of Keanu goes viral. These memes have tremendous lasting potential. It's hard not to smile when you see a fun fact or post about him. Why though? What is it about Keanu Reeves that draws people in?
He hit that Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise level of fame and then just became this super chill, mellow guy that can just like go through crowds.
It's really difficult for celebrities, especially older ones, to appear cool. Now, this may come as a shock to some of you, but Keanu Reeves is 57 years old. He's not exactly the same heartthrob he used to be. He's well past his prime, but somehow he's still acting like he's in the body of a 30-year-old. In preparation for the John Wick movies, Keanu spent days training with real Navy SEALs before filming even began. During filming, he ends up doing most of his own stunts, things like riding horseback, being thrown through windows, and some pretty insane falls. During filming for the new Matrix movie, he jumped off a 46-story building 19 to 20 times over the course of 2 days. Why? Because he likes the thrill of it. Keanu Reeves isn't just known for doing his own stunts. He's also a pretty active philanthropist. A few years after his sister's leukemia went into remission in 1999, Keanu opened his own private charity used to fund children's hospitals and cancer research. He goes on to add, "I don't like to attach my name to it, I just let the charity do what it does." If you read about the way Keanu's sister, Kim, speaks of him, it's as if the guy's a saint. While she was in the hospital battling leukemia, Keanu would be at her side the entire time. He would hold her hand and even turn down roles to be her primary caregiver. Kim even describes him as her prince. His other sister, Karina, is a Hollywood film producer. Imagine how frustrating it must be to have a super famous brother and be constantly overshadowed. So how does Keanu handle this? I mean, I'll just let the clip speak for itself.
Really awesome to be here and to be invited, and with such a great accomplishment, and it's a wonderful film, and so it's a really incredible
my red
evening.
carpet.
It's really rare to see a guy this dedicated to supporting the people he cares about, especially since Hollywood is notorious for being this shallow place filled with people just trying to serve themselves. I think when you look a little deeper, you begin to have even more appreciation for the guy. I won't get into his childhood or upbringing. I'm sure we've heard about the stories of his father's drug habits or the death of River Phoenix, but Keanu isn't the sum of the tragedies he's experienced. He's a living example that you can overcome pretty dark things and not only make it out of the other end alive, but go on to thrive. He hasn't been poisoned by negativity.
And let not what you're afraid of define the present that you hope to be in when you go do what you're afraid of.
He's not mad at the world for his suffering. I'd wager most people could not balance that, and understandably so. I know there's still some of you out there who are probably thinking, okay, yeah, he's a family man, so what? What else is there? It's difficult not to be a skeptic. It's rare to see someone last this long in the film industry without any controversy. It's not like he's been away either. He's been pretty active since the late 80s and has had some of the biggest leading roles of the last decade. The John Wick series alone has grossed nearly $600 million worldwide. You shouldn't take my word for it, I'm just some guy. Let's see what his co-stars have to say.
He's very generous with his time, commitment, and his ideas. I think he's one of those collaborative people I've ever worked with.
He's so kind and humble and collaborative and welcoming. I mean, everything, all the good things you hear about Keanu, they're true.
They're actually
They're true.
Yeah.
He was like my therapist, and you know, at one point I remember telling him, "Oh, don't tell anyone this, Keanu," and he said, "I'm a vault." And I was like, okay, now I'll tell you everything.
Okay, sure. His co-stars are in on the whole thing clearly, right? Why don't we ask some of the women he's dated?
I mean, he's one of my favorite people to work with, to be around.
I think about how sweet Keanu Reeves was and how handsome he was. It was hard. It was really, it was hard for me to like really be serious. Like he would look at me and I'd be like,
So what is it about him that makes people cling to his character? For starters, he's a guy who understands boundaries. The hover hands meme is hilarious, but I've met people who are super uncomfortable being touched in any way without consent, myself included. It's a pretty thoughtful thing to do. Keanu is almost always going viral for just being kind to his fans. Take this recent viral tweet in which Keanu answers rapid-fire questions for a fan while signing his autograph. Small gestures of kindness for this guy are just a common thing. There's this clip from The Late Show with Stephen Colbert that has gone viral a number of times.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
This quote is in typical Keanu fashion, but it becomes much more real when you realize he isn't doing a bit or attempting to go viral. What you're seeing in this clip is a man, for a brief moment, in genuine emotional pain. You can hear the tremble in his voice.
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
He takes time to think out his responses. He's sort of animated when he speaks. He shows commitment and interest in the conversation being had. None of this is intentional or planned out. The things he says isn't the work of some sleazy agent. This isn't a producer helping him trend to promote a role. This isn't his manager looking for a quick payday. He's going viral and regularly because he's just being himself. Sure, you could argue that there's no concrete proof that Keanu isn't doing this for clicks. The thing is, when you get to a certain status as a celebrity, you don't need to keep up appearances or do things to stay relevant. Tom Hanks could take a 10-year break from the industry and almost no one would realize it. His star power is just that strong. The same goes for Keanu Reeves, a man with just an unbelievable list of roles to his resume. He has no incentive or motive for being so shockingly transparent.
I lead a very quiet, normal, kind of, really, I mean, my private life is a boring disaster, but work is good.
Keanu is just going about the motions of his day-to-day life, for the most part, oblivious of what the world thinks of him until he's trending as a meme or a new John Wick movie releases. It's hard not to respect that. It's hard not to see the appeal here. Keanu is exactly who he says he is. In a place like Hollywood, we don't see that nearly enough.